Hello, everybody. Happy New Year. And we are back together again to talk about the Amazing Race 33 with my amazing co-host, Phil. How are you today, Phil? And how are you feeling about the fact that pretty much our favorite reality show, game show, is back and we weren't even expecting it to come back?
No, we weren't. I mean, this is so exciting. The world of COVID has been tough, and like to even think like that they were able to make this work during COVID is mind blowing. A big good job to CBS and all the people that work on the show that they were able to make this work in their way, and it's going to be really interesting to watch it all play out. Happy New Year, Chantele. I mean, Happy New Year, reality realness. That's
Woo!
huge. And I'm just thrilled to be back to talk to you about this show. The last time we talked was, I think, the long Amazing Race Australia season that kept going. But now we're back, and it's going to be good. It's going to be very interesting.
Absolutely, it's going to be very interesting. There's a lot of rumors around how it's going to work out, so we're going to talk that through as well. So we do have some friends joining us here in the chat. Hi, Jelly Donut. Jelly says this cast is fine. Do you find that the people of this cast is very attractive? What do you think?
Um, yeah. I mean, I think that they're exciting cast. I know, I do. I'm actually very excited about this cast. Much like last season, definitely they focused on diversity, which is fantastic, always to see. Um, and they're a good mix. Like it's a good mix of different types of partnerships, which is always good to see.
So out of all the cast, I'm putting you on the spot here.
Oh,
Who would
geez.
you have maybe a little bit of a crush on?
Oh my gosh. Wow. Oh my god, that's tough. Okay. Well, I
I have my
don't.
pick.
Who do you think I would say?
Oh, that you would say?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't think about what you would say. Hold on, I need to look at them again. I would say, okay, who would you say for me, and who? Ooh, for you, maybe.
I didn't even
Um,
look at them, and I will be honest. As soon as I see the person that's mine, I will tell you that that's the person.
okay, for me, I think my crush is going to be Michael Norwood, Norwood and Michael and Armand, the singing cops. So I think that
Oh,
maybe the taller of the two cops, I might end up having a
yes,
crush on. He seems quite cute.
he does. Yes,
All
he
right, so we'll
looks
be
like
waiting for
he
your
he.
answer. Oh,
Okay, I promise to the world of reality realness, I will be honest and I will tell you which one.
absolutely. Hi, Adrian.
I
In
know
my opinion,
I know people are on pins and needles.
they are. They're gonna ask you about it. So you better be thinking about it. So Adrian says, in my opinion, some good personalities on here. Absolutely. I think that what I find interesting when I was just doing a little bit of research on this cast is that they all have a pretty interesting backstory. So I'm curious
Yeah.
if we're going to hear more about their backstory along the race, if they're going to talk about anything like that. I find it very interesting that some of them have some quite amazing stories that they've experienced.
Yeah, like usually it's like one or two teams, maybe three will have like something in their past that it's like, whoa, like or that's happening in their life. But like there's a lot. I mean, we've got somebody that was wrongfully convicted. We've got somebody who was a part of that whole ISIS taking over ISIS on the train thing. We've got lots of interesting stories. We got people who have like adopted somebody, like
Mhm.
basically that was like from their. He was a teacher from their school. They adopted them. Like this is huge, huge things.
Absolutely. Okay, so Jelly Donut is clarifying here, so you might be off the hook for your statement. But Jelly Donut says, "Does fine mean hot? I meant it as amazing." LOL. So fine meaning amazing. Fine. If
Well,
I
she's
was looking
saying
at fine in that
fire.
way, I'd be like,
I think.
yeah, this cast is fine.
Yeah, I
So
think
I wouldn't
Jelly's
even
saying
think it was.
fire though, right?
Oh, I'm not wearing glasses. You said fire. I saw fine. Well, do you know what? is fire. This cast is fire, and this cast is fine.
Note to self: Chantele needs glasses if we do the race.
I mean, I would wear contacts for sure. Absolutely. No, absolutely. I mean, for reading stuff, I can't read up close really. I can see fine far away though.
All good.
Hi, Ashley. Thanks for joining us. Hi, Glenda. I'm very appreciative that you guys are hanging out with us because I know that Will and James are going live right now as well. I saw a little notification. So thank you for hanging out with us. I mean, they're going live tomorrow. Yeah. Happy New Year to you too, Glenda. Yay. I tell you, I'm not even mad that they're only going to Europe as long as there's no Steamroll Alliance. I'm ready. Absolutely. Well, we were kind of talking about that Steamroll Alliance, and I didn't mind it when we watched it the last time. But I think that I wouldn't mind it necessarily even for this cast. I think when those Steamroll Alliances happen and I like everybody in the cast, I'm kind of okay with it.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know me, I'm an underdog person. I love those underdog stories. So, I mean, I do always root for, if I feel like people are like on the outs, I always like, come on, you can do it. You can mix it up.
True. If they're on the outs, I want them to kind of to get in there. But I'm not too upset on The Amazing Race when people group together because they still, for the most part, have to do the work themselves. It's not just like a numbers voting thing. So it doesn't bother me as much, but I can definitely understand why it could be annoying for some people to witness.
It will be interesting that they are only going to Europe. I agree with that. I think that's been pretty much official that they're just going to Europe. So it may feel a little like the Australian one that we watched because they stayed in Australia. So I'm hopeful that they'll go to really unique places in Europe that maybe like different like ecosystems and stuff like that in Europe that maybe people aren't aware of in that.
Absolutely. Hi, Tamika. Jelly Donuts says Ryan is fire. Ooh. Or fine, as I like to say. Okay, so Jelly Donut has a lot of tea on who is not returning. If you would not like to know, I will not say. No, I don't want to know who is going to be coming back for sure. I'm going to speculate. I kind of didn't do that much research just because I didn't want to dig too far in like the backstory of some of these casts because I didn't want to stumble on who was going to do well or not, or who's coming back or who's not. We also wanted to do a draft. And so having that information kind of takes away from the draft of it all. So I'm going in pretty blind as to who's going to be returned. Like I have some inklings, but this is just like process of elimination. I have no truths. How about you? Do you know any tea in that way?
I only have heard one thing, and I think it might have been from I don't know if it was from you or somebody, but it was about one of the teams because we had heard that this team was going to be on it, and I was like, well, what's their story? And so
right, we'll probably end up talking about that if it's the same thing. I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
So no real tea here, Jelly Donut, in that regard, just because we're going to do a draft. I think Chantele might know one. Okay, so I think, well, I don't know what I know. We'll see. We'll get to it in a second. I'm watching Will and James on my phone and watching you guys on the computer. Multitasking king. Yes, you are amazing. Thank you.
Yeah.
Actually, I really do hate the big alliance that dominate the season, just like last season. I hope there is a change. It didn't bother me last season. Like we talked about it. It didn't bother you, did it?
I think we liked it in the sense that it seemed to work. Like we always see these alliances and then they don't really work. And everyone was always like, well, how does an alliance work on the race? Especially like a big one, like with like 5 teams. So I think we were kind of like, oh, good for them. But now what? Once we got to the 5, we're like, now it's actually the show's going to start getting interesting because it didn't feel like. So I do understand what Ashley's saying. There is that part where it's like, well, it kind of is predictable, like who, like they're so strong. They picked the right 5 teams, but if they had picked a wrong team in that 5, then it would have been really interesting too, because it could have fallen apart. So I think alliances are so tough on the race because it's right off the bat, you got to really get to know are these teams any good?
I mean, I don't want alliances for sure if they're like, oh, we'll tell you the right exit or something like that. But like, I don't necessarily want people to be completing tasks for other teams and like really giving them a huge advantage in that way. So I'm kind of like, I'm in the middle. Like I could be convinced either way, whether I like it or whether I dislike it, to be honest.
Yeah. Okay.
Ashley says, I don't know if it's just a rumor, but I did hear future seasons are implementing on that rule on helping. Okay, good. That's great.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I do know that they do have it on, because that did show up a while ago, that they were like, well, you can't, like, especially with like the roadblocks and the detours, you can't help another team in those situations. Or no. I think it was the roadblocks. I don't know about the detours, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you should be able to help any team, especially if you can't help your partner in some instances. You shouldn't be able to help other teams. That should be like, sorry, like, so that would be great if it's a rule.
I still want them to do the one way. I want them to do the one way. It's never been done. I want them to do almost like where they make them do the detour. It's a team gets the one way, they get to pick who does the roadblocks for another team.
Oh,
just be like, oh, this person has to do it. Like, I think that would be a good twist. But
like, if you come in first, you get to choose who does the roadblock for all the teams.
If you get there first, and then you're like, oh, I haven't used my one way. I'm going to make the person who can't even do things.
If it's the person that's afraid of heights has to do the bungee jump challenge.
Right. That would be drama. That's drama.
I mean, that's a fun one. They're probably going to be very creative, I'd say, with what they're doing this season. So we're going to speculate a little bit. Jelly Donut does say that they're really excited that they'll be incorporating more self-drop aspects to the race, ready to see some people self-destruct. I feel like they're going to be in Europe, is what we know so far. And in Europe, all cars are standard, and I don't think anybody can drive standard.
No. I mean, it's a rule of casting to make sure that people who don't know how to do stick shift are on it, just for that drama of how bad that they'll do.
Whoa, it's like, just learn. If you're going on the Amazing Race, it's actually something that you should know how to do.
That's right.
We know, we've gone through our list of like must knows, and that is one of them. So let's talk about what we do know about how this season is going to be going down. So what I've heard so far, so they started filming this season in March of 2020 or February, March 2020. They were able to get through 3 legs. I believe they were Switzerland and Greece, if I'm not mistaken.
No, correct? they it was London and Scotland.
Why am I thinking Turkey and Greece? It was London. You're right. Start in London.
Yeah. London. And from what I'm hearing, it's London. Then it's either still London or somewhere else in England, and then they go up to Scotland, and then it's shut down.
Okay, well, I'm like misremembering. I'll believe Phil. He's more organized than I am. So they did end up doing 3 legs from what I'm gathering. I believe one of those legs were a non-elimination leg.
Okay.
From what
I don't know
like was happening. Then they shut down production for about 1.5 years. And just this past fall, Phil decides to talk to each of the different teams to have them come back, talking about their experience during COVID, et cetera, and lockdown. And then only 7 teams come back?
Yeah, I guess. So going off what you're saying, if there was a non-elimination, that would leave 9 teams. And then I'm assuming that they all come back? I don't know.
I've heard that a couple teams don't come back. So I don't know if it's a couple from 11, so 9 teams come back, or a couple teams from 9, so 7 teams come back. I'm not sure.
None of the teams from the that were eliminated at the beginning come back, do they? Like, they don't like.
I mean, we don't know necessarily, because maybe they do.
Like, maybe they replace people who can't, or I don't know. Like, maybe they replace people who end up
exactly
can't or something.
Well, I'm assuming
I don't know.
So I'm assuming that some people will not be able to come back, maybe due to COVID, flying. Maybe they've had some, tragedy in their family or whatnot. So I'm sure that there's people that have extenuating circumstances that might not allow them to come back. My one speculation, and this is the one that you probably are thinking of, is Caro and Ray are
Yes.
a dating couple, and they broke up in the summer after they started The Amazing Race. So I don't know. They might come back and play as exes, which I think would be fabulous, or they might choose, depending on how the breakup goes, to not want to continue the race with each other.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the race when it comes to exes, they do pretty well on the race. So that might not be a bad thing to do. But you would know. I mean, you're the Love Island person. Like, was it a good breakup or is it a bad breakup? Like, are they?
I didn't hear a lot about the breakup, to be honest.
Okay.
So I would think that cordial to a certain extent.
Okay.
But then I didn't want to go back and do some further investigation because I want to be super spoiled. So on top of that, how they chose to fix or change the race to be able to conform to the times, they are all going to be flown around by an Amazing Race plane. So Adrian is excited for the plane that Amazing Race is going to be having, a private plane that's going to fly them around part of, I believe it's Eastern Europe. I don't know if it's Eastern or just all Europe, but I think I've heard Eastern Europe.
Yeah, I heard. I think it's like a good part of Europe that they're going around. I heard that I heard they go to Switzerland first. That's where they.
The race, no.
No, that's like where when it restarts, they fly them from the States to Switzerland to restart. And then I guess what they'll do is sort of like on the Australian one, whenever it was like those when they had to take a train together or whatever, they would just put everybody on one thing. So they'll put them all on the plane and then either start them all at the same time or they'll start them based on how they came in. Yeah. Okay.
So they're staggering them and letting them leave in the order that they came in. So their pit stop basically will be on the plane.
Won't it be great if they follow the Australian one and they do a challenge on the plane but maybe actually show it? Like the Australian one didn't show it, but there was like something on the plane that they had to figure out. That would be sneaky. I'd like that.
That would be so fun. I would love Escape the Plane, like an escape room. Hello, Travel the World. Happy New Year to you as well. Okay, so in an interview with Phil, it was stated that 2 teams were eliminated pre-shutdown, so 1 non-elimination. And when they returned, 2 teams did not return, so 7 returning teams. Okay, so that's what I had heard, or I thought I'd heard. So thank you for clarifying. Yeah. Did they reveal the private plane or no? I want to see how it looks. I've not seen any images of this plane as of yet, but I believe I heard it's a Boeing 757. So I believe that's a narrow body Boeing plane.
Yeah, I saw a picture sometime. I think it was on their Instagram, on the Amazing Race Instagram or on the Facebook, but it was just I think it was the tail of the plane from what I remember.
Let's see if I can find that.
It was a while ago though. I think it was when they first announced that the show was coming back.
See if there's a plane here. Oh, I don't see it. No plane. Maybe it's gone now. They had a revamp of there. All right. No, I don't see it. But so they're going to be going to more rural areas in Europe. And so it won't be like the super major populated cities or whatnot. I believe that they won't be doing any taxis. It's going to be all self-driving opportunities. And not doing any big market tasks or stuff like that where there's a lot of people. So that's, I think, everything that I've heard of how they're going to conform to this new world that we're living in. Have you heard anything else?
No. I mean, No, I haven't heard anything else. I mean, I'm excited to. I mean, Europe. You know, a lot of times Europe on the race gets kind of a bad rap because they're like, oh, it's a little boring compared to the chaos of India and Thailand and all of that. But yeah, you know, I think it's the world we live in, especially at this time. So we're not, yeah, not seeing those some of those things. The cabs, that's always an issue, which is always fun to watch, and the crowding's always interesting to watch how people with the culture shock and stuff. It's always interesting. So it's going to be a different race, I think.
I hope. I mean, I hope I enjoy it, especially
Yeah.
if it's maybe the new way that it's going to be done for at least the next few years. I'm happy that we're getting the Amazing Race. I just hope it's as enjoyable as the previous seasons have been. So fingers crossed that these tweaks and changes translate really well to us in the audience.
Right.
I mean, for them on the race, they're probably going to be like, it's going to be very difficult and enjoyable.
Yeah. And
sure.
Honestly, I think like this is a great little break, right? To like get back into the race and all of that. And then next season, go to a couple of those places that maybe have opened up and that. So we'll see some more. And, you know, it gets you sort of excited for the next couple seasons when they're finally going back to this place. Like you're going to get back into it because like at the beginning when we used to watch the race, it was like, they've never been there. It's going to be so interesting when they go back. So maybe we'll get that feeling of, oh, they're finally going back to this country.
Exactly. So hopefully it will work out. But I am happy regardless that they did what they could to bring us the season. Yeah. So Adrian says the only locations I've heard are London, France, Portugal, maybe Greece, and Scotland, but I don't know. That's what I'm kind of hearing. I believe you're right. I did hear Portugal for sure, because people are speculating that.
I heard Spain.
I didn't hear Spain. I heard Portugal.
Oh. Okay.
Because when I was listening to, I think it was Rob's podcast, they're talking about how the twin sister have an advantage being able to speak Spanish in Portugal. So because the languages are similar.
Great,
didn't see that their advantage was for Spain. So
okay.
I would assume. I mean, who knows? It's all speculation. So yeah, I heard Israel thrown around in the route too, but that was never confirmed. It does not add up to what production has said. I have not heard Israel.
Okay.
I kind of saw it in the preview promo. It has a plane with a TAR logo on the side. That's amazing. That's fun. That's pretty cool. Do you want a picture of the plane? Because you can just Google. Thanks, Jelly. Thank you. It's so sad because the original route was top tier. It had South Africa, Malawi, Australia, and Peru. Oh, that would have been fantastic. Yeah. But hopefully 2-3 years down the road, we can go back.
We'll get there.
We had planned.
Oh, no.
Hi, Joseph. Joseph says, I'm surprised they don't do a U.S.-based season, considering what happened when they originally started filming this season. Season 8 was US-based. I think that maybe the U.S. had more rules than than Europe. I'm not sure why they didn't decide to stay in the States. Do you have any thoughts?
I don't know. I mean, I from what remembering the last 2 years of COVID and that, I'm kind of remembering a lot of this was a lot of state decisions on how to deal with COVID and at certain points. And so I'm sure that they weren't all on the same page. And so then would contestants feel safe? I don't know. Like, I mean, I would think that maybe they would go around the states. That would probably be the easiest option. But they may have also looked at it and went, well, the family one, because they do not like the family ones, like the CBS. I like the family one. I thought I probably huge in the minority, but I like the family one. Yeah, I don't know. I would guess it would have to do with different states having different feelings on COVID or different rules.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. That it just would be like going from different places. There'd be so many different rule changes and being on top of like things changing like that. And maybe it was a little bit more consistent in Europe. and things weren't fluctuating from state to state, and they could do more easy research. This is my guess, I guess.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much it then for what we know. Obviously, if anything else comes up, we will talk about it. So are you ready to get into our draft picks and go through this cast and talk about them a little bit?
Yeah, let's talk about them a little bit, and that'll be exciting.
Well, I won the last one, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
The last, well, you won
America.
Survivor. Yeah, no, you won Survivor. The last
Survivor.
draft.
I did win. I picked Will and James to win.
Yes.
The Amazing Race.
Yes.
Who did I win? Also, the pick for Australia?
No. Remember Australia? I had like I had all of them in the end. And I was like, woo!
Well, okay, was Australia what we did most recently, or was Amazing Race 32 what we did most recently?
Oh, I don't care. I'm gonna let you go first. This is your show.
Well, no, I want to be fair here. So
no, go first. You won Survivor.
I think that I am such a amazing host, and this is the Amazing Race podcast, that it would be amazing for you to pick first. Then I will do second and third. You will do fourth and fifth, sixth and seventh, eighth and ninth, 10th, and then the 11th will be out.
Yes.
And then we'll see how it all shakes out. After the first couple of legs, and if we see something's completely unbalanced, maybe we'll do a redraft or whatnot and shuffle it out again. Maybe it'll be perfect, and it will be our last pick player. So we'll see what happens, obviously, with how things might change. But as of right now, we're expecting all these players to be eligible to play the entire game.
I love it.
So, Phil.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Who are you going with first?
Is there a graphic? Are we showing?
I will pull up a graphic. Yeah.
Okay. I hate to pick a guy team first because I'm like, it goes against what I like about the race, but because I always am like, oh, they're gonna like be that team that I'm not going to cheer for, but I'm going to go with a guy team just because I want to win the draft. And I have a feeling from this team that they're going to do well. So I'm going to go with the best friends, where the ones where one of them was wrongfully convicted for 10 years. So I think that's Dusty and Ryan.
Correct. All right. I was already hovering on there when you're like, I'm choosing a guy team.
Yes.
I was like, this is probably who it's going to be. Ryan Ferguson and Dusty Harris. So why'd you choose them?
Well, I like their attitude in the interviews that I watched of them. I thought that they seemed to be focused on the race, which was good. And you know, I don't know. I think his story is very interesting. He seems to be a bit of a fighter. He's also, from what I understand, he's even though he was convicted for 10 years, he's also trying to help the person that put him in jail a little bit. Like he's trying to help him not be in jail because he doesn't think that he should be in jail. So I don't know. I like their story. I want to hear about it. I do feel like they're physically strong, both of them. They do seem kind of smart as well from the way that they were speaking. I don't know. There's just something about them that I'm getting this vibe of. Oh, and the other thing is that I'm noticing is they're like on everything. They're on the commercials. They're on that, and you know, the storylines. They like to show us who we're supposed to get invested in. So.
That is a fair assessment. I think this is a great pick. If I would probably have picked them first as well, for the reason that you've said already, and then also for the fact that I don't know, the world seems to like to reward somebody that's gone through what Ryan has gone through.
Yeah.
Being wrongfully convicted, going to jail for 10 years. Yes, he was able to receive a settlement. I believe it was of $12 million. great. Like $12 million in 10 years of your life, is it good? I don't know. So I do feel as though just with synchronicities and like just how the world usually works, I wouldn't be surprised if somebody like him were to be the recipient of the $1 million check and winning the actual show. So I can just picture them winning. They're both in very good shape, it seems. They're 38, which is a little bit older than usual, but it seems like this season has a decently older cast,
Definitely.
which I think is great. And if they're best friends, like lifelong best friends, they are going to know each other pretty well, and I think they're going to work together very well. And so, Ryan can put up with a lot, like 10 years of your life behind bars, like for something that you didn't do. That means he has so much resilience. He was probably working out and bettering himself in some sort of capacity while he was in there. So I really feel that he has the mental capacity and the physical capacity to do really well. And I can very easily picture them working well together.
Yeah, I think he's done quite a bit in life. So I'm hopeful, though, that they don't talk too much about all the positives that have come out of it, but they focus just on like what happened to them. So because if other teams feel sorry for them, because they're a guy team, but they feel sorry for them, they might not yield them if that comes up, or they might not put a negative on them if they get behind their story a little bit more.
I don't know if they're going to share their story with the other racers. Do you think?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It depends how close the cast gets. I mean, last season they all got really close, so you never know.
So Joseph says Ryan even hosted an MTV show for like a season, Unlocking the Truth, where he helped other wrongfully convicted people in his shoes trying to get out. So, he's already kind of like a hero. I can just see that if he's being cast, like I can just see a world where this team wins. So I think it's a great pick. Joseph also says, I was researching the teams, the attorney that put Ryan away is now a circuit judge. I think Ryan's case happened during an election year too in that county. Okay. Interesting.
All right. Hopefully he's likable. That's what let's hope he's likable though. Like, I mean, that would be a bit of a letdown if he's not likable.
I can't imagine him not being likable. Like just like how much humility would have to become of you. Like I can't picture him being a jerk after spending 10 years in prison. I just can't.
Yeah.
But I mean, we've seen crazier things, I'm sure. Jelly Donuts says, I can see all the teams sharing their stories since they all have stories. Possibly, especially if they're going to be like on a plane tight space for long periods of time. There is a potential for them to get chatty. So we'll see.
All right.
Okay. Anything else to say about these guys?
Right now, before I've looked at the other pictures, I will say right now Ryan's in the lead for my pick. For what you wanted to know at the beginning. But that might change, Ryan, so good luck.
Okay. You got the hots for Ryan.
Well, we'll see.
All right. So far, Ryan is in the lead for the eyes of Phil's affection. Okay. So for me, my first pick is I've not personally heard of this team. People have been saying like, oh, you don't know? Oh, you haven't heard of? And I'm like, yeah, no, I have no idea who this team is. Now, it could be because I only am in a certain world when it comes to reality TV and social media. And so I only am going to see things in that world. So maybe that's why I'm unfamiliar with this team. But I'm going to go for a male-female team, a husband and wife team of Wait, hold on, here you go. We're going to go to Kim and Penn Holderness.
Oh my goodness. Wow. Okay.
You're going, wow. Why do you say wow?
Well, okay. I want to hear why you. I'm sorry. I don't want to be mean, but I just found them so irritating.
Hey man, I didn't say we've had irritating people win the race.
That's true. That's true. I'm just hopeful that they don't make it long because they seem very irritating, and I think they're going to really bother me.
Perfect. I'm glad that you'll be rooting against one of my teams. Perfect. Well, the reason why I chose them is that, they quit their jobs to kind of focus solely on social media. They're making videos that are going viral. So I feel like they will be able to work well together. They're collaborative. They'll be willing to try anything. I just feel that they would just be like the perfect parent duo that's going to be really excited to do everything on this race. And I just think that they are going to be like a dream team for the producers because they're just going to be so probably too perky for you, but perky and excited and positive and just really want to, show these things for their kids and like all their subscribers and followers. So I just feel like they're just going to do a good job.
Yeah, I mean, I will, for some pros for you, I will say they have been probably one of the other teams that have really been pushed preseason. You're really noticing them. They're getting a lot of their sound bites and stuff like that. They seem, I mean, they do work together. They drop their jobs, their life, like they work together. They're married, family, so they definitely have those bonds. They're going to be strong bonds there. I just don't want it to be the Kim and Penn show already.
Jelly Donut says they're the hung and chi of the season. I don't think Phil will agree with you, Jelly, because he loved hung and chi. And it doesn't seem like he has that same affection towards this couple.
I'll forgive it. It's all fine.
When they win, then you'll have to eat your words.
Oh.
So Adrian says, yeah, Holderness family is either a love or hate kind of team. You either root for or root against because of their big personalities. Yeah. Right. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to love them, but I could see them going far and doing well.
Yeah. I found their dancing in their intro to them package. I was like, oh,
well, let me watch that. Maybe I should have done more research and I would be more annoyed by them. They're internet personalities. They're in their 40s.
Yeah.
Can't believe they look so much older than me, and I think I'm like the same age or older than them. It's insane to me. It's okay. Oh.
Right. It's like enough. Team Cheese.
We're gonna hate him. He kind of looks like a skinnier Ben Mulrooney.
Right.
Do you know what I'm?
Yeah. Oh yeah, he does. Yes. Who is really cheesy as well. I'm letting my opinions out.
So yes, they're family bloggers. It'll take a lot for me to root for them. Oh my goodness, Jelly. What about them being my number one pick? Root for them. Joseph says, I suspect that they will be there most legs. Most of the time you
won't know that they are there.
Most of the time you want to know where they are there.
Most of the time you won't know where they are. So yeah, they're going to be like in the middle. So we're not going to see them as much maybe. And maybe the cameramen by like 4, like 5, they'll be like, I can't shoot anymore. Maybe,
They're going to be like all the content that they're bringing in. They're going to have handshakes. They'll be wearing matching outfits. They're going to have like little songs. Like they're going to be giving content. So maybe we should put in like for the rest of this, like every time, taking note of every time they do something that annoys you.
-5 points.
Oh yeah, we're gonna do points. I didn't think about what the points should. Oh yeah, we have that list. I sent you. Okay, so Joseph also says, "Oh yeah, and Rahab was loving this team because the family, a podcast, the Sister Ninos, relocated to yes, North. Wait, what's NC?
Oh, in North Carolina.
Well, of course, Rob had to cheer for them. Yes, that is true. People are like, "Oh, did you hear that this family?" So they're well known in the community as well.
Oh, so they're going to be all over RHAP. They're going to be like having their own podcast on that too. It's going to.
So Jelly says that's better. That my first assumption's a Penn. I thought he was something more, way more scary and way more dangerous.
Oh, like a threat to the Amazing Race, like a tough competitor.
I don't know. I don't understand. No comprendo. But pros for Penn, Kim and Penn. I don't see this team fighting during
True.
the race. No, I don't see them fighting. Or if they do, I can see her getting annoyed with him because she can't do something and he's being encouraging.
Yeah.
And she's like, stop encouraging me.
But the fact that they're not just married, but they work together in their own business and stuff, they must have run into times when they've hit something that's been hard to deal with. So I think that they're going to be strong together in that sense. Yeah.
Now, for the next one, I don't know if I should go with my heart.
Ooh.
I think I'm going to go and just take all the hunks off the board. And I'm going to take the singing cop duo next.
Oh.
I think that there's a potential that they could do really well. They're from New York, so they know how to work hard, and they see a lot of tough criminals, and it's not like an easy breezy city to be a police officer in. So I definitely feel as though they have the stamina to be able to like do well in this race. If I've heard correctly, Michael's taller of the two here. He lost, I believe, 50 pounds getting in shape for the race. So I love that he is putting in the work in order for him to, have the physique to be able to do really well. They seem that they're going to be likable. And I feel like the other teams will enjoy their presence, hopefully, or they're not annoying like the holderness. And I want to see them do well, and I wouldn't be surprised if they did do well. So I'm going to go with them for my second pick.
I think that's a good pick. I'll be honest, I didn't have a lot of notes on them because I found myself watching Michael's arms. Sorry, I'm being honest. But no, definitely. I mean, we've seen cop teams do very well on the race. They seem to get along very well.
So cute. I love like the height difference between them. Like they're just adorable.
Yeah, I think I think they're gonna be fun to watch too. I think they're gonna be one of those character teams for us, which is always good for the race. I don't know if I see them winning, but I do see them being really entertaining to watch, and that's important for the race. You've got to have those teams as well. So I'm okay with you taking this one, but. I wouldn't be 1,000% shocked if they pulled off the win in the end because they seem to work well together.
Exactly, and like they're cops, like they're going to have some great skills that hopefully will lend to this race. I feel like they'll know how to drive, which is one thing. So yeah, I'm interested in seeing how well they do. Adrian says Michael and Mo are going to do Harlem Globetrotters in my opinion. I can see that, like just being like just very likable, do pretty well, get really sad if they get eliminated. Like I want to see how they do. I think that they're going to be a very likable team, and so.
All right.
You got two now.
Oh. Okay. Well. you know me. I like the girl teams.
Hold on,
So
sorry. Jelly's just clarifying. Well, I thought that he looked like a serial killer. The dad dancing in his striped pants. He looks like a serial killer. I don't know if I see that. If it's maybe like Christian, what's his name? What's it called?
Christian Bale,
In what's that movie though?
American Psycho.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe that kind of killer. Okay, sorry. Who do you have next?
Well, I get two, right? So I get
Correct.
the next two. Okay, all right. So let's go with. Let's go with Lola and Lulu.
Okay.
And the reason I'm liking them, they seem to have at least one other language under their belt that they seem to go well with. They're twins, which twins do quite well usually on the race. They tend to go at least halfway. They seem to have good energy. I think they're one of the younger teams, though. I'm not sure, but I got the vibe that they were. Yes, there they are. And yeah, I got the vibe from them that I don't know. I feel like they have a chance to do really well if they get into an alliance. That's what I think for them. They're a team that I feel like needs to get into an alliance just in case and get on people's good side. The problem for them being twins is if one of the, and I hate to say that because it's not completely true, but in some ways, if one of them can't do something, there might be a chance that the other one can't because they're, at least physically, it looks like they're similar. So maybe there might be, so if one of them, they might get into that problem. So that's why I feel like if they have another team that could help them get through things, they'll do well. They didn't, I felt like that they had great energy. I couldn't get a vibe on how, this is awful. I couldn't get a vibe 100% on how smart they are, but I got the vibe that they're smart. So I like them. I think that they'll also be fun to watch. Good characters.
So I'm always obsessed with twins. I don't know if you know this, but like I'm from a family full of twins. So my brother had boy and girl fraternal twins, boy girl fraternal twins. Then my sister just had in August identical boy twins. My great grandmother on my mom's side is an identical twin. My great grandmother on my mom's dad's side had 4 sets of identical boy twins and 4 girls. And then all the other cousins, like on our level, they all had either fraternal or they had a set of twins, each of them. So I'm destined pretty much to have twins if I were to have children.
Right.
So I'm always excited about twins. I have just like a thing for them. I'm always just like, oh, I love twins. I love twins. I know a lot of twins. It's something that's kind of part of like my DNA. So I love the idea of twins playing these races. I love that they have like a certain bond that we can't even really understand. So I'm excited to see how well that translates. Usually with twins, because they have the same birth chart, one twin takes on their sun sign and the other twin takes on the attributes of their moon sign. So they will most likely have different temperaments, and maybe that would lend to different abilities. So, and one of them is usually right-handed, one of them is usually left-handed, stuff like that. So I am excited just to see how they do on the race. They're radio hosts, so they're going to have probably a gregarious personality. I like that they can dance. We know that there's definitely going to be some dance challenges because they can't do all these market search and buy tasks. So they're going to do probably well in the dance ones. As you said, they have a second language, which could be useful in Europe, just being able to maybe make out some words if they're in France or in their Portugal. Spanish is quite similar to, and even Italy, if you go to Italy, just similar language structure. So I can see them doing well, but I just don't have my finger on if they actually are going to win the game.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. I feel like they've got a chance to go far. I don't know if they'll be the winners, but I think that they're going to go far. So I'm going to give it to them. And I'm in the all female team power because that's how I usually am. I'm going with the other female team as well for number.
Wait,
Raquel
so Jelly
and
says that Lulu and Lola are going to 100%
self-destruct.
self-destruct.
Oh, I hope not. I hope that they can
Oh,
drive.
wait, what did you say? Someone correct me.
Lala and Lulu.
Lola,
I said Lola. It's Lala. Lala?
Lala and Lulu. Okay.
Lala and Lulu. Okay.
I feel like those are self-given nicknames because
Yeah.
it doesn't actually have anything to do with their actual names.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're
They remind me, if you're a big Amazing Race fan, they remind me of all the way back in season 6, the two sisters, Meredith and Maria. They kind of have that big family vibe, and yeah, but I don't know. I mean, they can drive stick shift, so I'm hopeful that they can drive stick shift. That's
I
that's a
don't feel
fear
like
there. I have a feeling that they can't. I don't know why.
I don't think they can at all. I do not think so at all.
All right, I'm going with Raquel and Kayla for my other pick on the flight
Oh.
attendants.
Well, Jelly wanted someone to pick Raquel and Kayla, so you just did that for her.
Perfect. I do. I mean, the one reason I'm against them is because flight attendants, I don't know, they tend to always something goes wrong, and they think that that's the sole reason for racing. But I like their personalities a lot in the interviews. They seem to be very focused on winning. I think they understand the race and how to do it. Again, if there's an alliance, they may get into it. But this team, I don't know if they need an alliance. This team, they seem quite strong, smart. I can guarantee them. One of them knows at least one of them knows how to drive a stick shift.
I think
I do. I think flight attendants. I don't know. Can you?
Yes.
Yeah, I think flight attendants. I don't know. They go all over the world, right? So then
we always get driven around.
Oh, do you? Okay. Well, I don't know. I'm hopeful. I would love to see a girl team win. I mean, we've had them, but it's been a little while. And I don't know. I think this team could be villains if they play it the right way. And it might work for them. Like they could be sneaky. Like they could play it very sneaky, and like I don't know if they'll tell everybody all the information, and they'll be cunning.
So I agree with Adrian here. So Adrian says the two female pairs, these guys, in my opinion, are the better. Yes, because of their experience as a flight attendant, and I could see them going far. But actually, no, I don't agree with this. So I can see them going far, but I don't know if their skills of being a flight attendant is going to actually come in handy here, especially with the fact that they're going to all be on the same flight. So their knowledge of being able to book flights or any like behind the scenes knowledge is not going to come to their advantage if they get to the plane late. And so I just don't know if their skills are going to be transferable to everything they're going to be, like the self-driving portion of it all. So I'm curious to see how they do because I worked as a flight attendant for 7 years. So I usually support my fellow flight attendantees. I don't know. I'm not sure if I see the win in them.
I think of the two girl teams, this team, I think I more see winning, but I could also see something going completely wrong. Like I could see them falling apart on one another. I don't know why. I don't know. Just their attitude. Like I think if one person really not lets down the team, but struggles on something, the other one might have difficulty letting it go. But I'm not putting that out there. I didn't put that out there. I am hoping that I would love to see them win. That would be wonderful. So they're on my draft. They're my pick.
Have them. Who am I gonna go? I got two coming up for me. Oh boy, I'm going to be choosing so many men, it seems. But I am. Yeah, I'm going to do this. This is a different team that I usually would go for sure. I'm going to go with Anthony and Spencer. So they're childhood friends.
Oh, yeah.
Um, they're one of these other teams that have a pretty extravagant story in their history, and that they were on a flight or on a train in Paris, and there was an ISIS terrorist attack of some sort, or somebody threatening on this train, and these two plus a third friend of theirs took down this attacker, a terrorist. I'm not sure exactly who it was. And they received a lot of like accolades and praise from both the France's government as well as the American government. And Clint Eastwood made a film about this incident where them and their third friend that was on that train starred in. So it's pretty an amazing of a story. I believe at least one of them was it Air Forces or something military?
Oh, they must have been, yeah.
So they do. I don't know if they all did have that background, but at least one of them has that background. So I just feel as though, like, they've been able to take down a terrorist with their bare hands, presumably. I just feel like they might be really great at doing random things. So I have faith that, because they've been high school or school childhood friends, that they will be able to communicate and get along really well, especially if they've had all this fame and stardom from this occurrence and having a movie made together. Like, they probably know how to work together really, really well. So I'm really curious to see how well they do on this race. And their story is pretty amazing. So I want to see it.
I mean, we know from their story, they know Europe at least, or at least they know France. Like they've been there, they've done it. I don't know how much train riding they're going to be doing, but I feel like they both seem very strong, very smart. I think this is a great pick. I think that they could go all the way to the win. I would not be shocked at all. And their story is going to be played to death throughout their journey because I mean, this story was huge. So the Amazing Race is going to make sure that we know it. I remember when it happened. I remember when they were on all the talk shows. It was quite a big thing. So great thing that they did. Great to see them on it. Great addition for the race. I don't really. I mean, I can't even think of really too much negative why they wouldn't win. I don't know.
Me neither. I
don't know why I did pick them. I messed up.
Well, I just feel as though guy teams tend to do better more often. You know what I mean? So yeah. I feel like they're young. They wait. Are they not on? Is that? I hope that's not indicative of something, because I don't see them on the Amazing Race Instagram. Is that indicative of something? Do they not come back?
What Amazing Race Instagram? What do you mean?
I'm looking at the Amazing Race's Instagram, and they have all the teams on it, and I don't see them.
Are they maybe under like a team name instead, or?
No, I'm just like.
No? Oh.
So each of the teams they have their little.
Oh! I think they're still. I think they're still releasing them. I don't think that they've done them all.
Oh, okay.
But if you watch the big one that they put out, I think first, it shows all of them.
So I'm just like, what? They're not here. No, they have to participate. Also, I do want to put this out there, and this is something that people are saying about Christine, or about your other team that you just chose. Where are they? That she looks like Christine from Big Brother 16. I definitely see that. Sure.
Yeah.
Definitely similarities in face. Who am I going to go with next?
Wow.
I'm going to stick with the feel-good team, even though you don't think all of them are feel-good teams, I think that this one is a feel-good team. And that is Taylor Green-Jones and Isaiah Green-Jones.
Wow. Yeah.
They are a married couple. They're both obviously very attractive. And I am a sucker for anybody that has a flash mob at their wedding. So they had a flash mob at their wedding and it went viral. And I always wanted to have a flash mob at my wedding. I think Taylor is a like cardio hip hop instructor, so he's going to know how to move and dance. So if there's any dance challenges, I think that they're going to have the rhythm to be able to get through that. I feel like they're going to be a lovable team that people are going to be rooting for. And so am I, because they're going to be on my team. So I'm taking these cutie patooties.
Yeah, I had them in the middle of my list. I had them a bit higher until I listened to one of their interviews of them. There was two things that stood out to me. One was that they said they've only ever traveled to Mexico, and they said it like that way. They said we've only traveled to Mexico, so they're excited to go around the world. So I was like, uh-oh. And the other one was one of them seemed to be more. I got the vibe one of them seemed to be more into what they were doing, and the other one, like he was like reassuring. He's like, we're gonna be okay. Like, I'll be there for you if you need me. Like, we're gonna be good. And I was like, are you both all in, or is one of you all in? I'm not sure. So I'm sure they're all both all in, but you know. But I they were high on my list. Before that, I was like, oh, I like them. I think they've got great energy. Love that we've got a gay team, people of color on TV in a loving relationship, and they're going to show it. Love it, because that doesn't get shown lots, and I know how important that is. So
totally great. And like, I would think hopefully that they will be focused. Maybe they shared that clip as like a little bit of a red herring, so that we wouldn't think that they're going to be so strong. So I'm just going to put a positive spin on your negative attributes for them.
Oh no! Hopefully, I would love to see them go far. I would love to see them go far. So, oh my gosh!
Yeah. Okay.
Is it me?
Yeah. You got two.
Oh my gosh! Okay. Okay, I'm going to go with because I like their story a lot. Like I like their story. I'm worried for them a little bit, but we're getting closer to the end, so I want to make sure that they're on my team. So I'm going with Connie and Sam. I believe that they at least one of them's a teacher, and their story is the teacher, who's also a football coach, had one of the players come, and they basically have adopted this kid who has become this great football player with him, and they seem to get along really well. I felt in the interviews they got along really well. They had good answers to some things. I was a little worried when he said like people didn't think that he could handle her, or because she's very strong-willed and stuff like that. But I think that they sort of maybe were joking about that back and forth. My big concern about them is in all of the commercials where they're showing race footage, they're both frowning. Like in every scene, they are not. I don't see a smile on their face at all. So I don't know if they're having a bad first leg or if they're just intense racers. But yeah, I mean, I liked their story. I think he's a very good-looking man as well, which always makes me cheer. So he may have moved up as well. I don't know. Not that that has anything to do with it, but I think that they're a cute couple, and I just think that's a great story that they were able to help somebody and who might have needed a hand in life, somebody to reach out and help them, and I think that's a great thing and should be rewarded. So.
absolutely. So this high school student, this teacher realized that he was homeless, living from couch to couch and in cars and stuff like that. And they brought him into their family. At that point, he was brought into the school to help with their football team because they were on a losing football team. And while this kid was living with them, they got his grades up. He ended up getting a scholarship to, I believe it was West Point. And now this man is excelling. And so it's kind of like if you've seen the movie The Blind Side,
Yeah, it's very
similar
much like
kind of
that.
story. And so absolutely, I think that it's possible for them to do really well. He's able to turn things around. They seem to be open and warm, and inviting people into their families. So it just means that they probably have really great communication within themselves and with other people. So I definitely could see them going well. I was debating whether or not to take them next or not, but I wanted the feel good guys.
Yes, no, it's very good, very good. And you know what? I feel this cast is great. Like, there's a lot of feel good stories with so many of these people. So, yeah, it's going to be a shame to see who goes first because they're good teams. But, all right, the other team I'm going to go with. Wow. I think I'm going to go with. I'm gonna go with. Oh, let me see. I'm gonna go with Akbar and Sherry.
I think this is your last team, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
Akbar and Sherry. I'm gonna go with. Mainly because of their story. So I do hope that it gets played out. I mean, they do a lot for the community. They seem to focused on really making their world and the world around them a bit of a better place, which is really nice. And being two teachers, I don't know how well they're going to do when it comes to competing. But of the teams that are left, I want this team to be the one that surprises me and does really well. If that makes any sense. Like I feel like I would cheer for this team. I like their interviews. They seem like a fun group. My worry for them is they may feel a bit out of their element racing, and they may get some culture shock in some places. So hopefully, they get on. They hopefully they get some luck and they perform well and they do great. I would like that. I would like to see that because they look fun.
They definitely there was a lot of great teams. So they're not. Haven't picked them yet because I don't think that it's possible for them to do well. I definitely could see them win this race. I love the fact that they are educators. That they are both former D1 athletes, so they do have a competitive, physical edge to them. I don't know if they still are capable of competing at that level, but they have it in their blood. So hopefully, it's muscle memory and they'll kickstart back into action. So I'm hopeful that they're going to do well in this race. I believe that he started a program called Lights On, and where he was noticing there was a lot of crime in his neighborhood between 7 and 11 p.m. And so he allowed for the school to be open for those hours. And they did notice that crime went down in their area. So, it shows that he's looking for ways to help youth. And so I think that he just is always looking for solutions. And so I think that it's really great for a performer looking at how to make a racer, that they're going to be looking for ways to make it work or get something done, think outside the box. So I'm definitely very, very positive on them. And I think they're going to be a feel-good team that the audience is going to be rooting for.
Yeah. Very good.
So I don't know what to do right now with these last two. So I have to choose my last person.
Let's see who they are, and maybe even the audience can help you pick. But let's see.
The audience is going to get the other person. So we have Arun and Natalie. They are a father-daughter team. They, I believe, are from Detroit, if I'm not mistaken. It
Oh,
just, I just don't know how well father-daughter teams usually do. We don't see them that often. So I mean, I would be interested to see how well they work together, but I just don't know if I can see them getting all the way to the end and winning together. Like, it seems like it's more of like an experience, get to know my father, get to know my child, and doing something together, lasting memories. I just don't know if I see within them the competitive edge to win. So what do you think about this team?
Well, okay, so in the positive sense, when I'm listening to the interviews and stuff like that, I got the vibe a little bit that they were a little Ron and Christina. If you remember them from the race, do you remember Ron and Christina, the father daughter, Asian? They did have some generational issues, but they were a very strong team. I feel like, if they buckle down and work hard, both definitely seem very smart. They could go very far. Um, I just got a vibe that they may fight with one another. They may bicker with one another about things that happen. So so hopefully they're able to let both people run the race and not one person's way only, and that. But um, yeah, I mean, I feel I got good vibes from them. I didn't get bad vibes from them.
Now, I also have a feeling that they might not come back,
Oh,
because she was hoping to win the race to pay for her wedding, and since she ran the first three legs, she's got married. So I'm just not sure if it will be the same dynamic, her like going back, you know what I mean? Like, so I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't continue their journey because their circumstances changed. So it's potential that they don't come back if, like,
yeah,
absorbing this situation. And then the other team here also looked like they're not going to come back because they're the opposite. They started off as an engaged couple and not engaged, sorry, dating couple, and now they have broken up. So I could easily see them not coming back. So I really don't know. I basically would be going off of who do I think is going to do better in the first three legs of the race.
yeah. Unfortunately, I mean, uh, I didn't have great like what they sounded like. They sounded great and everything, but they were like when they did their first interviews, they were talking about how they were a long distance team, and probably in the back of my head, knowing that they were from Love Island and that they had broken up, like that's been sort of everybody knows that. Um, I was kind of like, I don't know. Like, would they come back if they're broken up? I would love them to because that might make some fun story, but I don't know. But I mean, they're both very attractive, and they seemed very nice and energetic, and they would have been strong at some of the challenges. Um, but I don't know. And that would have been a fresh breakup. And if they were long distance, and how long were they together? Like, do you know?
I would guess around a year.
Yeah. Unless they broke up and they were like, look, we're just really much better as friends and we really like each other as friends. Let's do this, which I don't know. Yeah. My gut.
Personally, I mean, if I just were to look at the team, I wouldn't think that they would do well in general. From what I remember about Caro, I didn't watch season one that well because I found it annoying compared to the UK version, which I loved. And season one of Love Island was not good at all. So I watched it, but like I wasn't paying that much attention. But I do remember Caro, I found her to be kind of annoying. And I don't
Yeah.
know if I found her to be that like savvy in a lot of different situations. Like obviously she's gorgeous. You know, she's personable and gets along with people, but I just don't know if I can see her doing some of these inane tasks that they asked them to do on this race. Like I just don't know if I can picture her doing that. So
I would say if I could give any advice, this is what and just because of our love of the race, what I would say is one team is on it because they love the race, and another team was casted to be on it and probably don't even know much about the show. So that to me would make me go, well, this is my last pick. Let's hope that the team that wants to be there for sure and are there not for other reasons but to be on the race, maybe let's hope that they'll win. But
people are coming for me. Okay, so Jelly Donut says Arun and Natalia, trust me, choose them right now. Yeah, I'll just choose the team that didn't break up last year. Chantel, please do not overthink this.
Okay, they're telling you what to do. Wow.
Joseph says, I agree with Chantel for sure. I can see Arun and Natalia and Caro and Ray not coming back for sure because of the 20-month lockdown, right? The teams I like. Okay, so okay, I'm gonna trust you guys in the audience here. I'm very sorry, Caro and Ray, but you will not be on my team. You will be given to the audience. I will go with father-daughter team who wants to be in this race, who applied to be on this race and wasn't selected because they were on another CBS show to be on the race. I definitely think that is a selling point for me. I don't know if Caro and Ray will have the heart like you're talking about. So I agree with looking at that perspective, Phil. And I agree with everybody here in the chat. They did not break up publicly as far as we know. So
yeah, there was no a parent, no longer my parent thing going on.
Yeah, there we go. That is what's happening.
Great.
So Caro and Ray are going to go for the audience.
Oh, well, now I bet the audience wishes they didn't help you.
Maybe. I mean, I feel like these two aren't going to do necessarily well. I'm sorry. Okay, so your team, Phil, is we have Akbar and Sheridan. You have Connie and Sam. You got Lulu and Lala. You have Raquel and Kayla. And you have Ryan and Dusty. It's pretty strong.
Perfect. And
then I have Anthony and Spencer. I have Arun and Natalia. I have Kim and Penn. And I have Michael and Armand. And lastly, I have Taylor and Isaiah.
All right.
That's pretty exciting. We got through it. I know because you are super fabulous, you put together a little quizaroo. Do you want to take us through that?
Yeah. So
next week?
No. So feel free to fill out this one. I know Chantel, you're going to put them up in the link or whatever. So you just click that, fill it out. 4 questions for this one. Every episode we end with a survey that we'll take up in the next episode. So I guess when we go to the start line on we're doing Thursdays at 7, we're going to do. Okay, so Thursdays at 7 we'll reveal the results from the survey and then go through the podcast and then put up the next survey. So this one's really a simple one. It's just sort of get to know the audience and who they're rooting for, who they think will win. Because that's different. Who are you rooting for? Who do you think will win? And just also just like your past. Who have been some of your favorite teams? What seasons have you enjoyed? That kind of thing. So, but then they'll get a little bit more intense as we go through.
Hi, Sarah. Thanks for liking my teams. I've kind of gotten a little bit of heck from Phil over here. He doesn't think my choice of Kim and Penn was great. He thinks that they're going to be super annoying. So I'm happy that you are supportive of my choices here.
No, I don't think that they're going to be annoying. I know that they're going to.
Wait, Phil. So I do want you read out the questions, and we'll both answer these questions right now, and then we'll go through the results at the beginning of next episode for what everybody in the audience fills out.
Yeah. So make sure we do want the audience to fill it out because we love to hear from you guys. But so the first one is, which season 33 team are you rooting for the most? So rooting for, not thinking that we'll win. Who are you rooting for the most?
Rooting for the most is I think I'm doing the singing cops. I love that. I want to see them
Oh,
do well. Like, I want to see them sing. Like, I want to just I just want to be entertained by them. So I would love to, I feel like they'd just be such great people to win this race.
yeah, yeah.
What about
Okay.
you?
I think rooting for the most, I'm going to go with. Actually, I'm going to be kind of surprising. I think rooting for the most, just because I really like their story, and I think it's kind of cool. But I'm worried that they're going to go kind of early, just based on the frowns on their faces. But I'm going to go with Connie and Sam. I like their story. I think that what they did was really cool. So.
I just want you to notice here, Phil, that Sarah from Nerdtainment says Team Holderness all the way. I predict that they are top 3.
Well, they could be. I'm not saying that they're going to go out early. I'm just saying they're going to drive me crazy.
And then what was your next question?
Which team do you think will win?
I think your number one pick is probably going to win. Ryan and Dusty.
Yeah.
It feels like that's what will happen in the race. Like, if I were to like, put an immediate prediction out there, that's who I would think is going to win this race. I think you.
I agree with that. My energy is on that. I don't know. I'm not necessarily rooting for them the most, but it was just their energy really came across to me as, oh, they're focused on winning this. They're going to do well.
Yep.
Yeah. What's your favorite Amazing Race season of all time? Oh gosh.
I mean, okay, I'm not like a historian like you are, but I really enjoyed. I know it's kind of a cop out, but I'm a reality TV junkie, so I loved having that most recent mixed, like all the reality and then the returning seasons, the stars of like the Amazing Race come back, which was that 31.
31. Yeah, no, that was a great
I just really love that. Like, I love seeing Janelle and Brittany on there. I love even seeing the Afghanimals. I just love seeing all those teams come back, especially people from other shows that were getting to experience the race together. So that was just really fun for me because I had a different relationship with every single team, regardless of whether they were originally from the Amazing Race or something else. So I just found that one really, really enjoyable.
Yeah, I mean, as you say, I'm old school historian. No, on this, but season 3 is probably my all-time favorite season. Like the breakdowns of Flo and Zach, Terry and Ian. I loved they went to a lot of Europe actually in that season. But I don't know. I just really, really love the old seasons. I miss some of the stuff from the old seasons, but you can't do it anymore. It's different. The different world we're in now.
Like, how do you remember season 3? Like, it was literally 20 years.
Because I love it. I've watched it so many times. I love it.
Jelly's like on it.
Look
5,
at
7, 10, 3, 17, 29, 31. I don't remember. I'd have to go back and watch. I should watch them all again. Yeah. I need to get like into like a winter relationship so I can be like, hey, so do you want to watch all the Amazing Race all over again? Like, I kind of need to watch it with somebody because there's so many other shows that I do need to actually watch. And so there's no reason for me to go back and watch the Amazing Race, really.
Yeah, I think it was because there wasn't so many seasons to like watch and go back to. Like, it was like for like the first 10, it's like you get so attached to these contestants. So I think that's why I really like them. But and then it's, who's your favorite former Amazing Race team? Mine changes all the time, but
my favorite, I still do. Margie, what's her son's name?
Margie and Luke. Yeah.
Luke. I just like, they came back 3 or 4 times. They've been back quite a few times because they were such a fan favorite. I remember so many times like crying for him just because you know how hard he was trying. It was a mother-son team, and he was deaf. and they were just like, it just was so sweet all the time, and he was trying so hard, and you could see like as a mom how she's always been encouraging him. So it was just, I really enjoyed seeing that relationship on the race, and they did well sometimes.
Yes, yeah. I mean, there's so many teams that I love, but like, season one, Nancy and Emily, I really liked, which was the mother-daughter. John and Kelly from season 4, who were a little bit more villainous. But I don't know if it's just because they're red hair. I was like, I like them. But it's all sorts of different teams, like Ernie and Cindy.
If Penn and Kim had red hair, would you like them more?
No. Maybe less. No, that's awful. Yeah, no, I see. I know. I can see some comments now that on my thing, and I can see that Jelly Donut says Brooke and Claire, and I would agree that they are one of those teams that you just can't forget. They were amazing. Poor girl got hit with the watermelon, but the whole race laughing their heads off. They made such great TV.
I slightly remember, but it's so
faded. You do the GIF when you're on like social media. Do a GIF, do Amazing Race watermelon, and then you'll remember right away. You'll be like, oh, I remember that.
I can almost remember, like you would see the slow motion. So
yes.
And I think there was one more question, correct?
No, that was it. The 4. We just went with 4 to begin with, and then in the next couple ones, there'll be more about this season and about the show and what people might do in certain situations and stuff like that.
Amazing. Thank you, Phil. So if you would be so kind and fill out that survey right now, it's in the community section on YouTube. I will put the link for the survey into this description box for this this particular episode, and then I will also post it all over on social media. So please fill out the survey, and then we'll go over the results so we can hear your guys' opinion and allow you guys to participate in this season with that. So do you have anything else that you want to talk about before we say goodnight?
No, I mean, I'm really looking forward to Wednesday. It's been a while. We get to see Phil say go. It's going to feel, at least the first couple episodes are going to feel like how it used to be before they had the lockdown. But I'm excited for it, and I'm very excited to talk with you on Thursday. I love doing this with you. And thank you, everybody. Hopefully we're interested in some way about what we're talking about.
Absolutely. We got lots of people here hanging out with us.
That's right.
Of course. Dan just popped in. We're saying good night, but thank you for joining us. We'll be back on Thursdays regularly at 7 p.m. Eastern to talk about the most recent episode of The Amazing Race. There will be a 2-hour episode on Wednesday. So I'm excited to get to talking to you about it on Thursday. Woo-hoo. So what are you on, though, that maybe people can follow you or support you on right now?
Yeah, I mean, big thing that on this, I have a regular job, but then on the side, I have another job that I do, a business called Good Time Games with Adam and Phil. My friend Adam and I, we do online games for people if they want to have like a games night with their friends. We make a custom games night package for you and your friends to play games. And we do have also a monthly online sort of reality-like game show that we do. And we've got a whole bunch of new ideas that are coming out this year. So just find us on Facebook, Good Time Games with Adam and Phil, and feel free to like us or follow us, and you can be up to date with that. And we'd love to have any of the listeners sign up and play.
Yay! I play tested. So before he launched this company, I was one of the guinea pigs that had an evening of games with Phil, and it was super fun. So I would definitely recommend it, especially if you're looking for something different to do when we're in lockdown here. We're not able to go out and do escape rooms as regularly as we were before. So it's actually been really fun, just as a way to get together with people, maybe meet new people potentially, and play some games that you've never played before. So I would definitely say get some friends together and give it a go. 100%.
Woohoo! How about you? What are you working on?
just working on reality realness here. So please subscribe to the channel. We're just kind of a community of people that are willing to listen to us talk about these casts for an hour and a half on a Sunday, and will be joining us weekly on a Thursday. Right now, I'm only really covering that. And I am covering Challenge All-Stars, but I'm not sure what day we're going to be talking about it. So I do have to get caught up with the last couple episodes of that. So just keep your eye out on the community posting in YouTube, and I will let people know what this week's schedule as I kind of figure things out. That's all I got. We got Dolores in. Thank you. Well, thank you, Dolores, for being here. Thank you, everybody here in the chat. Obviously, we love your opinions. Please go fill out that survey so we can just have an idea of your thoughts in the season, and we can kind of monitor like how people are feeling as the season goes on week to week. Yay!
Woohoo!
Bye.
Bye.